Hello very much. My name is Hayden Anadonia, and today I'm going to be talking about ASMR. I'm surprised it's actually taken me this long to do this video because of how crucial ASMR is to me. But I had the thought the other day because I was driving home and I was listening to it, and I was just kind of tallying up my favorite ASMR artists in my head, and like my favorite male ASMR artist, my favorite female ASMR artist, and whatnot. And I thought, well, I haven't done a video on ASMR, which is so funny because it's so kind of crucial to me as a person. I've been listening to ASMR since roughly 2011. Was when I first started looking for ASMR, and back then it wasn't really called ASMR. I think that I had been listening to it for about a year before I first saw the word ASMR pop up on the internet, and then I remember thinking, oh, okay, so this is a thing now. But before that, it was just I was watching massage tutorials, people like Athena Jezik. I was just watching random, whatever I could find on the internet that gave me ASMR or whatnot. But I'm gonna try to do this video in an ASMR-ish voice. I feel like I kind of have to. But yeah, I'll start with my first experiences with ASMR in my life, which I have about 2 distinct memories of getting ASMR when I was younger. And the first one I actually sampled for Amber Waves on Perverts. It was a scene, I think in season 4 of Little House on the Prairie, where Doc Baker is, I forget the plot of the episode. I haven't actually watched that episode in a while. Even when I sampled it, I just sampled the clip. I haven't watched the episode in a while. But basically, Harriet Olsen goes to this new kind of quack doctor seeking a remedy to her affliction, the vapors, which is gas. She finds out it's gas, and he's just giving her alcohol. But there's a scene where she goes, "How much should I take, doctor?" And he says, "I recommend that you take just as much as you need to feel good." And I remember I would rewind that over and over and over and over, and I would lay on the floor in front of the old TV in my parents' living room with my feet up on the TV, and I would just rewind it over and over and over, and I'd play it. And I remember it would give me the most incredible feeling in the back of my head, like down my spine, and it would feel so relaxing, and I would just play it over and over and over and over. And that, I think, was my very first experience with ASMR when I was young. And I remember after that, I would kind of go looking for things that made me feel that way. Anything that made me feel that way, I would kind of keep a mental list of them in my head. And try to kind of compile them if I could. And that was back when, I didn't have an iPod. We had VHS tapes, and so I would try to keep a mental note of which movies and which scenes so that I could rewind it over and over again. I said I had 2 experiences, and I thought about it yesterday, but I have forgotten what the second one was. I'm sure it'll come back to me. But there was a Zelda podcast that I used to listen to when I was probably about 12, 13, and there were certain segments by one of the hosts, because there were like 8 different hosts for the podcast, and they would all do different segments, and there was one guy who had a segment that I would rewind over and over and over because it would put me right to sleep. And I got like a little purple iPod Nano when I was in middle school, and I would listen. I would like do the little dial and I would rewind it. I distinctly remember, and I would listen to it over and over, and it would help me go to sleep. I always needed to, that was the other thing that gave me ASMR. So when I was a little kid, we had these Focus on the Family radio theater programs for Chronicles of Narnia. And in the third disc of The Silver Chair, the scene between Eustace and Jill and Puddleglum and the prince, when they finally confront the Green Lady, there's a scene where she's kind of describing how the illusion of her world is, I'm so sorry about this fuck-ass dog that my neighbors just got. Bear with me. And the Green Lady is basically describing, she's saying, there is no world, there is no sun, there is only my kingdom. And she would describe this to them, and the heroic party, they would kind of go, oh, yes, there is no sun. And there was this like strange kind of like plucked lyre music in the background, and the heroic party's kind of falling under the enchantment again, and they're all going, oh yes, of course, and I remember that scene used to give me such ASMR, and I would replay that part of the CD. I would put it on repeat on my little CD player that I had as a kid, and I would fall asleep to that. But yeah, I really remember how fondly I would get the tingles like in the back of my spine. And so here's the thing, people describe it as being the back of your scalp, down your neck, into your shoulders and lower back if it's really intense. But I think that God must love me better than everybody else, because I get it in my stomach, which might be crazy, but I feel it in my stomach. When the ASMR is really, really intense, it's like in my stomach, all the way down my head and my back. And I used to gauge ASMR by how far it would make it in my body. If it was here, I was like, okay, it's good. If it's down my back and into my shoulders, I was like, oh, it's great. If it made it into my stomach, which was rare, I was like, oh, this is top tier ASMR. But yeah, I guess, on that note, I was going to read a little bit from the ASMR Wikipedia page, just in case you're not familiar with ASMR, which at this point I think it's gotten very popular, as opposed to, when I started listening to it, it was kind of, people kind of thought you were perverted if you listened to it. They're like, what, is this like a sex thing? Which it's not a sex thing. But, which actually there is such a thing as like sexual ASMR now. People do like erotic ASMR, because I think people do obviously correlate the fact that it's a pleasant feeling with orgasms or whatnot. So I think that people have now kind of gotten onto that tip where they mix the stimuli, but shit, you can mix any stimuli, but ASMR. An autonomous sensory meridian response, or ASMR, is a tingling sensation and pleasant form of paresthesia that usually begins on the scalp and moves down the back of the neck and upper spine. ASMR has been compared with synesthesia and may overlap with frisson. I've never heard that word before. ASMR is a subjective experience of low-grade euphoria, characterized by a combination of positive feelings and a distinct static-like tingling sensation on the skin. It is most commonly triggered by specific auditory stimuli and less commonly by intentional attention control and visual stimuli. The term can also refer to media, usually audiovisual, meant to evoke this phenomenon, with the sensation itself being informally referred to as tingles. So, when I first discovered, or like really started getting into ASMR, was probably, let's see, when did I start high school? I think I started high school in 2012. So it would have been while I was in middle school. Because I remember I had my iPod Nano in middle school, and I would go and use YouTube downloaders to download YouTube videos and put them on my iPod. So that was about 2010, 2011. And at that point, I had never heard the term ASMR, but I would find massage videos, and it was usually someone who was very soft-spoken giving a massage tutorial or instruction. There were also kind of certain forms of like low-grade Reiki healing, like guided meditations that I kind of started to get on the tip that these types of videos would usually induce ASMR, even though they weren't labeled as ASMR, you know? The YouTube headlines would always just say guided meditation, massage tutorial, stuff like that. I don't even really think that there were necessarily like head scratching videos or hair brushing videos, shampoo and haircut role plays. Those weren't really a thing yet. At least not quite. If they were, they might have just been starting to get kind of passed around on YouTube. I wasn't watching them quite yet. I didn't think to look for that. But I think the very first ASMR video I ever found was by an ASMR creator. I think it's pronounced Veni Vidi Vulpes. It's VENIVIVIDIVULPES. And she had a haircut role play, and I'm pretty sure the title said ASMR haircut role play, and I said, what the hell is ASMR? So I clicked on it and I watched it, and I thought, oh my god, this is what I'm looking for. This is so perfect. It was so relaxing. Oh god, I broke a nail yesterday. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. And I searched ASMR on YouTube, and there were a couple more videos. There was, I think, one video. I don't know if Gentle Whispering Maria had been making videos yet. She might have had one. I think Heather Feather popped up. I remember that was back in the day of Whisper Crystal. I used to listen to her cold remedy relaxation, where she like makes a bath. She like draws a bath or whatever, and it has the bath noises in it. That video I was really into. Back in the day of ASMR Rat, when she had her guided meditation video. I used to listen to, who was I listening to in the early days? Oh, ASMR requests, of course, you know. I mean, the departure video was iconic. I kind of think she changed ASMR culture with the departure video, the sci-fi roleplay, because after that, ASMR started getting really crazy. And you started to see a lot more kind of highbrow ASMR as opposed to just kind of the lo-fi webcam videos. I still prefer, like, I've listened to a lot of ASMR since it started kind of getting popular. And I've kind of come full circle back to just watching low quality webcam ASMR. That's just what I prefer. Still, it kind of does it better for me than anything else. And I have listened to a lot of ASMR. But I personally, I'm primarily and almost entirely triggered by the human voice. Whispering doesn't really do it for me as much. It's a soft-spoken cadence that triggers ASMR for me. I go back and forth on whether or not a male or female voice does it for me. Currently, it's pulling male, but I still listen to both. For the longest time, I was female. Then it became, I really liked the low cadence of like a man's kind of deep voice. Started to trigger ASMR better for me after I'd kind of like numbed myself to female voices. Because ASMR immunity is a thing. I think when you listen to ASMR repeatedly and regularly, you kind of stop experiencing it as intensely, which is kind of the case for me. I still get it, but I don't get it as intensely as I used to because I listen to ASMR every single night. I have been listening to ASMR every single night since 2011. I've never fallen asleep without it. Unless there's other people in the room, which is so funny. My boyfriend woke me up the other night because I was playing ASMR after he'd gone to bed, but I guess he woke up in the middle of the night. And he like kind of pushed me and he was like, "Can you please turn that off? It sounds like there's demons in here." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll turn it off." But it was so funny. He woke me up from a dead sleep. I was like, "It sounds like there's somebody in here." And I didn't realize he was talking about my ASMR at first because I was like, I'd just woken up out of a deep sleep and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? There's people in here. You can't say that to me. I'm a tweaker." But it was my ASMR. But I have had multiple friends come into like I'll go to bed before everybody else if I'm staying with a friend because I'm always tired, and I'll go to bed and put my ASMR on, and they'll tell me the next morning, they'll be like, "I came into the room and I thought that you were whispering because you seemed to be dead asleep, but I heard like a," and they were like, "What the fuck is going on?" They thought that I was talking in my sleep or something. It's just my ASMR. Just my ASMR. At this point, everybody knows I'm a freak, and I like religiously listen to ASMR. But it is what it is. I have no shame anymore. But yeah, I've listened to a lot of the different stuff. I've done the crazy role plays. I've done like the sound triggers. If there's any sounds that do trigger me, it's probably the sound of a keyboard or turning paper. You know, my mom worked in an office whenever I was really little, and then even after she quit that job to homeschool me, she was my teacher, so I would constantly hear her rustling with papers and doing stuff like that. So kind of office assorted sounds put me to sleep, and it's kind of the only ones that I really get. I don't maybe hairbrushing. I mean, hairbrushing, of course, because like getting your hair played with is kind of instant ASMR for anybody. But like this new wave of ASMR that's happening where people are like on the microphone and like the wet sound doesn't do it for me. It doesn't do it for me at all. I'm just not into that. But yeah, it's usually just kind of assorted office or salon related sounds in accordance with the human voice. I can never really fall asleep just from those sounds alone. But I have been kind of triggered by visual stimuli before. You know, people, and usually it has to have sound accompanying it, of course. But sometimes, you know, when people gently brush the screen like this with a brush or their fingers, and it kind of feels like they're doing it, whatever, that does kind of give me a little bit of supplementary ASMR. But it's always going to be the human voice. Always has been, probably always will be. There have been moments when I've been to the doctor's office, or who is the most recent person? Oh my god, whenever we're doing hair and makeup for shoots, they always give me ASMR so bad. There's just one guy who I've worked with a couple times on a couple different shoots, usually in New York, I think, because he lives in New York. But before he does makeup, he does kind of an extensive facial massage, and which not many other makeup artists do like that extensively. They kind of like, they'll massage the moisturizer into your skin before they do your makeup, but he really likes like 5-10 minutes of facial massage, and then he'll make his way down to your shoulders and your back, which you don't have to do that, but he does it. Love him. And he'll talk to me and he'll ask me questions while he does it. Oh my god, the ASMR, impeccable. He's so sweet though. I love him. But I do get ASMR from real people. I get it at the doctor's office. I get it when, you know, when people are kind of walking around you doing something and talking to you. It's kind of why I love going to the doctor. It's so relaxing. I'm kind of like, I'm addicted to ASMR. I love the feeling. I listen to ASMR while I'm driving at night. It makes me sleepy, but I love ASMR. I listen to it probably more than I listen to music at this point. But yeah, it's I love it. It's kind of a staple part of my life. I think it's really influenced the music that I make. Pervert. I released an ASMR track list when I was working on Perverts. I incorporate the scene that gave me ASMR for the first time into Perverts. ASMR has greatly influenced my music and what I like and what I listen to. But yeah, it's so good. Couldn't live without it. I guess I wanted to list some of my favorite ASMR artists because I kind of want to shout them out. I've done, you know, I do some digging. I kind of just happen across, anytime I hear a voice that is good for me, like gives me ASMR, I save it. Where my nose is tickling. I found a couple, you know, big ASMR artists that I like, but then I also love kind of smaller channels that are kind of still more lo-fi, because lo-fi ASMR is kind of God, you know, in the end. But yeah, I think for male ASMR artists, I would say that my top tier male ASMR artist that I always find myself going back to is Massage ASMR, Dimitri. He's Australian, I believe. His voice is like it's top tier. I used to kind of listen to him and Ephemeral Rift interchangeably, but then all that stuff happened with Ephemeral Rift, and I was like, okay, I'll just go listen to Massage ASMR. But yeah, Massage ASMR, Dimitri, his voice, golden, top tier, incredible. I fall asleep to him kind of primarily. He's incredible. He's a bigger account. Lloyd ASMR, love Lloyd ASMR. I found him back in high school. He has a similar quality. He has a low, soft male voice, but it's very kind of dainty. It's sensitive, if that makes sense. It's very kind, and gentle, which is really nice. You know, I think sometimes a lot of male ASMR artists try to put that boom in there to kind of give that like masculine edge, but I think Lloyd's comes very naturally. It's very naturally masculine, but it's also very sweet and caring and gentle. Sorry, I keep like getting hair in my mouth and it's making me like, oh. But I love Lloyd ASMR. I think that the very first Lloyd ASMR video I ever heard was him inviting you for tea. And there's this moment that I remember he says, you know, how about you stop by? It's been a long time. And the way that he would say it's been a long time, kill me. It would just kill me. So I started listening to his videos a lot. I was really, really fond of him. I still listen to his videos pretty often. I listen to him quite regularly. There's a channel called ASMR States, ASMR STATES. His voice, I think he must be German or Swedish or something, Polish maybe, something up and around there. I don't know. But he has like a really nice accent, and he talks so quietly, like he barely talks at all. He is really relaxing. If I kind of want to have like a general murmur in the background, but I don't really want to listen to like defined words or speech, he's really good because he just kind of like mumbles like this and talks so quietly. It's so good. It's so good. So I love him. ASMR States, he's great. There's Lord Stephen Christ, the concave earther. He has really good ASMR. It's debated whether or not he's in jail still or if he died in jail. I don't know. But he has a couple videos where he used to do live streams talking about how he was Jesus Christ incarnate and how he was trying to teach people about the concave earth and the ice fields in the sky and all that stuff. But his voice was incredible for ASMR, so I have fallen asleep to his lectures on the concave earth many times. But he's really relaxing. I went through his Facebook one time because people were talking about, they're like, oh, we don't know if he's dead, if he died in jail, we don't know. I went and stalked his I found his Facebook, stalked his Facebook for a while. Couldn't really find any information on whether or not he was dead or not. So I just, yeah, case closed on that one, I guess. But he's really relaxing. I actually sampled him on 003 on my Ashmanite project. There's a video that I love of him where he just says, "This is the real world," talking about the concave earth. And I sampled that for one of the songs. But I love him. I used to love this guy named Mellow Microphone. His name was Max. I think he does like fitness videos now, if he still is on YouTube at all. I can't find him anymore. But he used to be, I think he was a real doctor, or he was like a medical professional of some kind. He used to have really good ASMR. I remember one time I was coming off a really bad shroom trip, and I was watching his videos to help me calm down. But I really, really loved his videos. I saved a couple of them before he deleted his account, which, RIP. I'm not even Catholic. I don't know why I just did that. But he was great. Let me see if I have any other ASM artists. There's this guy, Bill Max Vox Pax. He's got great ASMR. He just kind of does like long live streams and talks about stuff, games sometimes, just like talk about topics. He's got a really huge, thick, beautiful beard. So cool. Love him. And again, I'm gonna link all of these people down in the comments so you can listen to them. Yeah, the majority of my ASMR is massage ASMR. I just found this dude named Jackson Luna. He does like Donald Trump roleplay ASMR. I've only been listening to him for like a month, but the Donald Trump impression puts me to sleep. It's so embarrassing, but his voice is good for ASMR. He does good ASMR. You wouldn't think that a Donald Trump impression could be both accurate and relaxing. I don't know, dude. It puts me to sleep. But yeah, I would have to say my top 3 male ASMR artists would be Massage ASMR, Lloyd ASMR, and probably ASMR States currently. As far as for the past couple years, I probably would have answered differently a while ago. But then again, I don't know. Massage ASMR is probably going to be taking the cake in all scenarios. But yeah, that's for male ASMR artists. Female ASMR artists, I say I listen to more male ASMR, but I think I know more female ASMR artists. I would have to say my favorite female ASMR artist. There's a variety. If I had to pick number 1 favorite of all time, it would actually be not an ASMR channel, but it would be Lynn and Jamie McGonigal from Ocala, Florida. And their channel was called The Angelic Initiative. And they basically talked to angels and channeled higher powers and acted as a mouthpiece to bring back messages from the deeper dimensions. And they were basically trying to help humans learn the soul plan to better take care of the earth. And they would just continue talking about how we're not doing that and we're not taking care of the earth and we're all going to die, which low-key real. And it sounds like a bunch of kind of, hokey pokey stuff. When you listen to it, it sounds like a lot of just like weird mumbo jumbo. But when you listen to it for a while and you kind of like get past the hokey pokey language, you start to realize like what they're talking about. And you realize they're kind of just talking about the condition of society and climate change and politics. And it's actually quite insightful if you can get past what looks like just kind of hippie mumbo jumbo. They actually kind of do have a pretty cool point. With a lot of their videos, they talk about, bigotry and prejudice. They talk about, the oil industry. They talk about climate change. They talk about politics. They talk about war. They talk about all sorts of stuff, which is it's really cool. I have listened to every single one of their videos. They have thousands. And they kind of do meditations and all sorts of different stuff. But I don't think that Jamie and Lynn are speaking to each other anymore. I think that there was some kind of like emotional manipulation, kind of toxic parent and child vibes going on. I think there was some, I don't know, I kind of hate to put their business out there like that. But I don't know, as far as I know, that they are no longer speaking to each other. And forgive me for saying toxic parent and child relationship. That is not my business. I should not be speculating like that. They are real people. And if they see that, I have the utmost respect for them. So let me not make assumptions. That's not my business. But I really love their channel. I've been listening to them for a long time. At least since 2018 is the earliest I can remember listening to them. Jamie actually did energy equine healing for horses, because if you live in Florida, you know Ocala's horse country. She used to do energy healing for horses, and I used to watch her videos until she started to do the interdimensional channeling with her mom, I guess in Ocala where they lived. But I think Jamie might have moved back to DC where she lived. I don't know, I haven't kept up with it in a minute. They don't make videos anymore because they kind of said that the angels have sent all the messages that they can possibly send, and all of the messages that they needed conveyed to people have been told on their channel. There's no more messages. It was up to us to learn the lessons and to learn from the messages, but they've all been conveyed, so they don't make videos anymore, which is sad for me. I love their videos, but that's just part of the work that they're doing. But they're cool. I love them. So that's probably my favorite ASMR artist. I love what's her name? I forget. It's, where is she? Hold on, y'all. Oh, it's like I don't know what her name is exactly. It's a spiritual teacher, Neelam, who does satsang. It's like an older YouTube video, and she's constantly talking about, I sampled this for 001 on Ashmedai, and she's talking about presence and talking about being present. Again, kind of in the comments, you see people talking about this is the most relaxing bullshit I've ever heard. But if you really listen to what she's saying, she's kind of talking about stillness and presence and being present here and like focusing on presence, which again might be a bit more on the mumbo jumbo side, but like she's got a point what she's talking about if you like really listen to it. But I really like her video. There's a couple different videos of her. I really love, I'm trying to think if there's any other kind of unintentional ASMR artist that I really love. I love Southern ASMR Sounds. She's really great. You know, I'm sure y'all have seen her many role plays, her organizing nail polish at Dollar Tree, you know, her going through assorted jewelry bags. I love her. Obviously her accent is kind of her selling point, but her accent's a little different than I'm used to. She's from, I think, North Carolina, South Carolina, but any southern accent, I'm there. But I love her. Let me see, I love Caroline Easom. I think she's more kind of like a TikTok funny kind of girl. She does like the funny ASMR, but she's funny. That girl is funny. She makes me laugh. But she has really good ASMR. Atmosphere. I think her name is Anastasia. I think that's her real name. She has like 8,000 different names for all her characters, but I think her name is Anastasia. But she does really cool ASMR role plays and like really high production value. She does everything herself, which is really sick. I really admire her. She has a really cool kind of like deep lore web that she's building, which of course I super respect. I love world building, so I think it's really cool that she does that. She's got a great voice, really relaxing, really cool. That's kind of on the more high production side of ASMR that I listen to. I've been listening to this girl. Where is she? Where is she? Her name is Cozy Queen ASMR. I think that she just does ASMR like on her husband, and she's got like a really sweet, kind of calming voice, which I really love. But yeah, I really love her. And she's kind of got that lo-fi sound going on, the room noise, which is really nice. But she seems like a very nice lady. I listen to a lot of unintentional compilations, a lot of guided meditations, hypnosis sessions, massage tutorials. Like I was saying, Athena Jezik back with Psyche Truth, I think was the channel name, was one of the first ASMR videos I really downloaded. You guys see my phone case? It's me and my boyfriend. He's so handsome. I'm trying to see if I can find my subscriptions so I could maybe show you guys if there's anybody I'm missing. I've been listening to Monotonic ASMR. He does like a lot of like flight role plays, like you're on a plane, which is relaxing to me, because planes are so relaxing to me. They make me so sleepy. I listened to this like monk. His name is Utadamo Bhikkhu. He does videos on meditation, Buddhism, and his life as a monk, his monastic experience. So he's really good for ASMR sometimes. His voice is really relaxing. Knife Point Horror, great for ASMR. I used to fall asleep to his stories a lot. He's got a great voice for ASMR, but his stories are also incredible. I really love Knife Point Horror. It's probably my favorite horror podcast. My favorite story of his is Outcasts with Garrett Markish. It's my favorite of his. So if you go check out his podcast, definitely check out Outcast. It's my favorite episode. There's ASMR Ascension. He's got a great channel. He does really good guided meditations. Accidentally Graceful used to have some really good videos I loved. Again, ASMR requests. Yeah, I kind of am like a creature of habit now with my ASMR. I kind of just found the videos that I like. I don't usually get too creative with it anymore. I kind of just listen to the videos that I know I like. But those are the people that I found that I really, really enjoy, and I know that I enjoy, so I kind of stick with them. But every now and then I find a new ASMR artist, AE, the Donald Trump guy. His Joe Biden role plays aren't as good. The accent doesn't work as good. It's the Donald Trump impression is what puts me to sleep. I don't know if that's problematic or not, but I also don't really care. But yeah, I love ASMR. It's God, every time I get to this point of making a video, it makes me feel like I'm back in school and I'm doing the like closing paragraph of like a 5-point paragraph essay. And I'm like, so in conclusion, but no, ASMR's a huge factor in my life. I can sleep without it. I would rather not. But it's something that I've always been very interested in. I'm just very interested in kind of stimuli, good stimuli, bad stimuli. I like to mix stimuli. But yeah, it's a really important thing and special to me, which might sound silly. It's just ASMR, but ASMR has been very influential to me as an artist and as an autistic person, as somebody who's gotten more in touch with my body and my brain and the things that I find stimulating, and it's kind of helped me think about stimuli in a new way, which has helped me process sensory issues, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, ASMR is really cool, really important to me, and there's a lot of really cool creators out there. So I'll list all of the ASMR artists that I listed in this video, as well as some maybe additional ones for you guys to check out. And if you have any recommendations for people who kind of match the vibe of what I'm talking about, don't send me any like mukbang shit or whatever. Like, I don't fuck with that. But yeah, send me recommendations. Let me know what kind of ASMR you guys like. I always love hearing your comments. Yeah. Thank you guys again so much for watching. And I will see you guys very soon. So, yeah. This has been Hayden Anadonia. Goodbye very much.